Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. It seems like there is never an off day, an off week, or an off month when you follow Cleveland sports. Today, the Browns got their defensive coordinator, Joe Woods. The Cavaliers essentially got center andre-drummond from Detroit, basically in exchange for Brandon Knight, John Henson, and a second-round pick. Then the Indians are close to signing free agent outfielder Domingo-Santana, a right-handed power-hitting, poor defensive right fielder. Now, if they would just go out and sign Hoynes' favorite player, Yasiel-Puig, I think I'll go out and buy some playoff tickets. I don't have to do the same for the Browns or Cavaliers at this point. We've got Hoynes here tonight. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into its 24th consecutive year, seen exclusively on cleveland.com, seen exclusively tonight with us. Hoynes, you ready for a rant? You got 56 minutes to do it. Start ranting.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
Good. A little busy day today. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah. There was a tweet out of the Dominican Republic. I don't know if he was a writer or a radio guy that tweeted it late last night, and that Domingo-Santana and the Indians had apparently agreed to a deal. Now, the Indians haven't confirmed that, but they're close, and I think it should get done sometime next week. You know,
and you've covered the Indians for so long, you know this better than anybody. When they want to keep a secret, they can.
Yeah, they can. They're very good. I mean, that's what's the old saying? Loose lips sink ships.
Yeah.
They go by that. That front office is pretty good. It's very good that way.
All right, here's the stuff we have on him. 27 years old, 6 Major League Baseball seasons, mostly with the Mariners and Brewers. 253 batting average last year. Hit 21 homers. He had a 30-homer career in 2017 with the Brewers. But he did, that's kind of a scary number, 12 errors last season, most among MLB outfielders, and most by 5. The next closest had 7.
And when you make an error in the outfield, that's 2 or 3 bases. That's just not one base you're giving up.
It's not like a ground ball to second that is messed up. All right, at first glance, assuming for our purposes, we're going to assume that trade will be announced or will be made official sometime soon. Is he the starting right fielder?
I don't think so. No, I think. Well, that's a great question. Just talking to Terry-Francona at Tribe Fest, he seemed committed to giving Reyes a chance this spring to play left or right field. He lost like 18 pounds over the winter to improve his mobility. And I think he feels more comfortable in right field. He's played more right field there, so. I'm not sure how Santana fits into the picture. I think, pretty much. I mean, maybe they could share the spot. Maybe they could, they're both right-handed hitters, so you can't platoon them. But I think you could bounce those two guys between the outfield and DH.
So you got 2 bad right fielders defensively then, not just one.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I don't think we'll see them in the same outfield during the same game.
No, and defensive replacements in the 6th inning.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
216, what's
that?
They
both got pop. They both have power.
They do. So. And strikeout ability, too.
Yes. A lot of strikeouts.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can email us during the show at the address you see there, which is reallesslevine@gmail.com. Lots to talk about. Hoynes is an expert in everything, so we'll just start throwing some stuff out here. Cavaliers trade with the Pistons. We thought maybe something was going to happen with Kevin Love or Tristan Thompson. It didn't. It happened for Andre-Drummond, and they give up John Henson and Brandon Knight and a second-round draft pick, which is meaningless in the NBA, right? Got to be a miracle for a second-round pick to come through. Drummond, I think, I'm surprised that he's averaged that many points, almost 18 points a game and 15.8 rebounds. And he's just a horrible foul shooter. But he's a 2-time All-Star, and he's 26 years old.
Yeah, I've seen him play against the Cavs this year. He's a monster.
He's a monster. When he's motivated, he can play. He's in the final year of his contract. And there you see it. He's got a player option for next season, so we'll see what the Cavaliers want to do with that. 216-575-0403 is the number. The Browns have agreed to terms with Joe Woods to be their defensive coordinator, and he, of course, handled the defensive backfield for San Francisco, and they gave up 3 touchdowns in the last quarter. So we got that going for us.
Yeah. Not a great calling card, huh?
Here's Joe Woods. He was the DB coach and passing game coordinator with the 49ers in 2019. He was the defensive coordinator for Denver back in 17 and 18. They finished third in overall defense. That was in 2017. And was the defensive back coach, obviously, Stefanski, and he got to know each other very, very well in the years Minnesota, where he, from 2006 to 2013, he was the defensive backs coach. Do you have any faith in what the Browns are doing?
I guess, you know, I always thought
that sounds like a no.
I always thought that you eventually, if you keep doing something over and over again, you're going to get lucky once. Or you're going to do
the same thing over and over.
But I don't think you really do get lucky. You have to have a design. It starts from the top and works its way down. You have to have a philosophy, a design. You have to you have to know what kind of players you want and go out and get them. And then you have to have the right coach. It doesn't happen by accident.
No.
And the Browns just seem to be cartwheeling out of control since they got back.
Not the Super Bowl, but when you watch a game between a couple of good teams in the NFL, do you look at them and say, well, they don't make it look that hard?
I was thinking about the 49ers and just watching them in the playoffs run the football, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to throw the ball. They just
chuck yardage.
When was the last time you've seen a ground game like that?
I wonder if they had to, because they didn't think their passing game was as good as it might have been. Garoppolo may not have been as good as they thought.
And then, the Browns have Chubb. I mean, that should, you should be able to do it.
Here, Nick.
Yeah. Right.
Go. There's the goal line that way. Unbelievable. You covered the Browns from what year to what year?
Oh God!
Or who was the coach when you were?
I covered Nick Skorich.
Oh.
I covered
Skorich took over for Blanton Collier.
Yeah, Forrest Gregg. I covered then Sam Ratigliano. I think those are the.
Sam would have come in.
And I don't know if
87 or 07.
Yeah, I think and no, I don't know if Schottenheimer was a coach then. No, who was when they lost?
Sam was there from 77.
Yeah, in Denver when they lost the game on the fumble.
Yeah, that was Marty.
Yeah, okay. Then
you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
You
yeah,
experienced
I
that in the flesh.
Well, no, I was just helping out in that game. I wasn't covering the team. Grossi was covering that.
So what do you? If he takes ill, you come in.
I went early and did a week of advanced stuff. Yeah, I was covering I was basically doing the Broncos.
216-575-0403 is the number to call if you'd like to get in. Hoynes is here. And he's setting his pitchers and catchers report, about a week and a half, 2 weeks?
Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Yeah, February 11th.
You report the following week.
Yeah, I'm going the 16th.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You still, you don't know this year because every spring training is different, right?
Yeah, every spring training is different, but it's, Bobby DiBiasio always said the greatest explanation about spring training. You can't wait to get there. 2 weeks in, you can't wait for the games to start. 2 weeks after that, you can't wait to get out of there. But every spring training kind of follows that path. And the only thing that really kind of will upset a spring training is an injury, a big injury to a key guy. Other than that, they're pretty much the same.
All right. So, for example, you'll start with the existing starters from last year, maybe pitching wise.
Yeah.
And that's you take care of that for a couple of days, then you move to the defense.
Right. Yeah. I think like Clevinger and Bieber are good stories. I think just seeing if. Have the Indians approach them about extensions, that kind of thing, and who takes over for Kluber, and then you've got to sort out the outfield. They've got if Santana signs, if that goes through, that means right now they've got 9 guys on the 40-man. That would give them 10, unless one of them gets dropped off, to make room for.
A little
Santana.
bit later, we'll have Hoynes and my predictions what the starting lineup will be for the Indians, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later. In the meantime, we're going to continue here, talk about the 3 happenings today. Cavaliers with a trade, the Browns with a defensive coordinator, and the Indians potentially with Domingo-Santana, power-hitting, poor-fielding right fielder. Ohio Lottery is the place to go. They've paid out over $1 billion in winnings over the past 6 months. People are winning in record numbers, and winning is happening all around the state of Ohio. You can play an Ohio Lottery game, and you can play it today. We'll come back. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. New content posted each and every day. Don't forget Weekend Winners tomorrow. Dave Bacon will host that from 6 until 7 right here on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
The Babe was born on this day. This is otherwise a poor birthday day, Hoynesy, but the Babe, who I think is the most important figure in the history of sports. Would you agree with that?
I definitely think so.
If they didn't have a Babe Ruth in reality, they'd have to invent the guy.
Save baseball
Look,
from the Black Sox.
this is a
scandal.
3 Cleveland Brown kicker birthday date. Don Cockcroft, Tom Tupa from Brecksville, and Travis Coons all kick for the Cleveland Browns. Mike Fright, sometimes singers get that, comedians get that. Bob Wickman. You get along with Wickman okay?
I had my ups and downs with Wickman.
I heard it was some high ups and some low downs.
Yeah, he was a beauty, man. He's the only guy I ever saw do an intentional balk. They were in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they had a guy. The Twins had a guy on second base. He thought he was stealing signs, so he intentionally balked him to third base.
So
with
get
2
him
outs.
off.
Yeah, so he could get him off second
Can they
base.
decline that penalty?
Yeah.
Say, no, it's staying at second. Speaking of that, speaking of signs and all, we were talking about the Santana potential signing, and he struck out a lot. And you said the Indians have struck out last year more than anybody. And we checked it out. They struck out 5th.
Yeah, they were
the
fifth
most.
Fifth from the bottom.
And so Brian's doing the stats, and he says, who do you think was the number 1 in non-strikeouts? And Hoynes, he said?
Houston. Of course, they had a little help.
Guilty, Your Honor.
Yeah, they knew what was coming.
Just before we get into it, because you're involved in it with the Baseball Writers of America, and Pete Rose with his yearly appeal, saying, I think he's saying he just wants to get on your ballot, which was taken away from, which was taken away. Any change in thought on in your process?
No, I have no change. I thought Pete, didn't he, talk to Manfred about reinstatement 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, it seemed okay. It seemed like it was going well.
Investigated it, and they found out more stuff that didn't come out in the first time he got banned.
Right.
So, this is.
Well,
I don't
he's
know.
saying nobody got punished for the Houston thing. Do you think any more will come out on punishment? Boston's got to be.
With Boston, I think the precedent has been set. They can't really if they ask the players for immunity, they're not going to they give it to him.
Right.
I mean,
Can't take it away.
Yeah, you can't take it away.
Yeah.
And but I would think Cora is in. He could be. He's already been fired. I think he could be suspended. Maybe he could get on that lifetime ban list.
Oh,
That's because that's a double whammy. He was the brains
Right.
in the Astros, and then they did it. If they did it again in Boston,
if he was the brains, he was managerial material.
That's right.
No question about that. All right, let's have a AL Central update here. Hoynes is here. Let's take a look at what happened last year with the Indians and the rest of the division. Minnesota won it by 8 games over the Tribe. The Indians lost their last 3 and finished with 93 wins. Chicago, I thought they were closer to 500. That 17 games under, and they've really loaded up on that. Did they load up enough to get ahead of the Indians?
I don't know, Les. I mean, they've spent over $200 million on free agents this winter. I mean, they've definitely improved their club, and they have a great nucleus of offensive players, young offensive players. But I have a thing when you jam a whole bunch of new players into one team,
right.
It takes a while. And I don't know if they still have the pitching to catch the Indians, but they're definitely going to be better than an 89 loss team.
It's not a 2-team race, it'll be a 3-team race.
Yeah.
All right, the Indians had the least activity, at least until today. They may pull ahead here of the Royals, but this is where it is. 5 of the top 50 signings go to the White Sox, 4 to the Twins, 1 to the Tigers, and the Royals and the Indians with no activity, although that'll change sometime today, we think, as far as the Indians are concerned. Any of those numbers surprise you?
No. I guess the White Sox obviously felt it was time to jump in and, open their window of contention and go for it. And the Twins,
Where are the Twins getting all their money?
I just think, they are on that, they're on a win now, a cycle, and they put they draw well at that ballpark, and I think teams like the Twins, the Indians, and Kansas City, they go in 4 and 5 year cycles. When you think you can contend, you go for it.
And Minnesota also is proof of what you've always heard, that you can't tie up so much money in one player. They tied it up with Joe Mauer for several years, and that knocked them back a couple of years.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
good a player as he was, that knocked him back.
And they've still, in the last 8 years, they've lost 6 of their last 6 seasons. They've had 6 losing seasons in their last 8 years.
Right.
So it's not like they've set the world on fire. But now,
but they got the new stadium a couple of years ago, and that helped them a little bit.
Yeah, and they outdraw the Indians. So that's but they've done a great job. And now if they get Maeda from the Dodgers, if that deal goes through, that's going to help them in their rotation, because that was their weakness, and now they've got like 8 or 10 starters, not great starters, but kind of
functional.
After Jose Barrios and Odorizzi, they've lined up, so they've added depth and they've added some quality arms.
What are your thoughts on the Red Sox, 2 major players in the market, and players I mean teams, the Dodgers and the Red Sox? Somebody told me he thought it was bad for baseball that Boston isn't at the top of the spending tree, and they feel they need Boston because they're such a good franchise. They look good on television. They have all personalities. Everybody knows the franchise history. I don't think it's bad for baseball if they can't compete.
Yeah, I mean, that's their own choice.
Yeah.
They just traded their best player, the face of the franchise, because they're cutting payroll.
Right. It just doesn't seem like that's a team that would do that.
I know, yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody gets on the Indians for cutting payroll.
Right.
And the same thing is going on with the...
Well, they're starting from a different
exactly.
vantage point.
So,
how about the Dodgers? They lost the World Series last 2 times out. It's win or else, right?
Yeah, I think they've won their division, the NL West, 7 straight years. They've been to the last 2 World Series, and they're so loaded that even in this trade, they didn't give away Gavin Lux or May, any of their top prospects. Vertigo. Alex Vertigo, the outfielder. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not one of their top guys.
No, but they did give up on Jock Peterson, who's a guy I'd love to have here.
Yeah, and he was going to the Angels, so, and they had to make room for Betts. But they're smart. They've got a great farm system, and who knows? I mean, I think.
You said the Dodgers won their division 7 times in a row, but they haven't. Is it correct they haven't won the World Series since the Kirk Gibson home run?
Yeah, 1988.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, it really is. With a payroll like that, you
Right.
know. But, you know, they were kind of down for a while. They had ownership problems until, you know, the Magic Johnson's
Right.
group bought them.
It'll be interesting to watch. Do you think the Houston thing is going to hurt baseball as far as ratings are concerned, as far as interest in the ticket sales, or are they going to just push it aside and business as usual after that?
You know, I do this thing on. I asked some readers what they thought. Did they think that the Houston and maybe Boston, the cheating, did that hurt the integrity of the game? And a lot of people responded to it, and they said they felt that, you know, they still love baseball, but they are a little leery that the games are on the on the up and up. And
Right.
you know, I think that's, you know, that's not good. I mean, and other people said, listen, cheating's been going on for ever.
Not at that level, it hasn't.
Yeah, but everyone, you know, was really, they were disappointed. That most of the responses I got were disappointed. They felt that Houston probably should have been, you know, punished more.
You know what bothered me most is they were a likable team. Now I can't stand them.
Yeah.
But with the personalities they had, I mean, to me, Altuve, I don't know when I look back, who is this Altuve? Is he the little guy who's got great power, or is he a guy who cheated?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, all of them up and down that lineup: Correa, Bregman, Altuve, you know, Springer. I mean,
You got to throw Brantley in there too.
yeah. Well, supposedly they weren't cheating in 2019.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Yeah, you know, the cheating supposedly ended, you know, during the 2018 regular season.
Right.
But just the fact that everybody in baseball knew what was going on, that's such a psychological advantage to the Astros, even if they're not cheating.
Clevinger is the most vocal about it, I think, of anybody, right?
Yeah.
Of the opponents. Why didn't he plunk anybody?
That's, you know, I asked him that and at Tribe Fest, and I didn't ask him personally, but I said, why didn't the players just police themselves? Why didn't you just throw at a guy and knock him down and tell him to knock it off? And he said, well, we really didn't have a smoking gun, but you know, now you hear everybody saying, oh, we knew something was going on. I knew Charlie Nagy told me. Nagy was the pitching coach for the Angels in 2017 when it started. And he goes, we knew something was going on. They were hitting pitches they shouldn't have hit.
Swinging at pitches they shouldn't have swung at.
And swinging at pitches, yeah, right. And so, I mean, so everybody knew. But that's what you know, and so what if you get kicked out of a game? You don't got to hit the guy in the head. Just brush him back.
Just
you know?
remind him that you can throw inside if you need to. Yeah, 216-575-0403. Paul Hoynes with us, Plain Dealer and cleveland.com, reporting that the Indians will get a power-hitting right fielder. Maybe not good enough to start at the beginning of the season, but we will see. Domingo-Santana is his name. East, west, and south, that's where you're going to find Northeast Factory Direct. 3 great locations, plus the website, northeastfactorydirect.com. If you're looking for mattresses, beds, or hot tubs, this is a great time to buy a hot tub, believe it or not. Kitchen cabinets and much more, all from Northeast Factory Direct. You're going to save 50, 60, 70% as opposed to the big box stores, because they pay about 1/10 the price of rent as the big box stores do, and they pass that savings directly on to you. Now in their 20th year of business, northeastfactorydirect.com. We'll come back in a moment. We haven't mentioned Franmil Reyes. We will do that. Although Hoynes says he's lost some weight. He's a big guy either way.
Yeah, he looked good.
More Sports and Les-levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Celebrate NatureStone's 30-year anniversary with a free NatureStone floor. During 2020, we will be giving away 30 free floors to 30 very lucky customers to say thank you for making NatureStone the best concrete flooring solution for garages, basements, and more. Call or visit naturestone.com today to register to win, and we'll send you a copy of our new buyer's guide absolutely free. There's no purchase necessary. Winners will be chosen monthly. With over 30 million square feet installed for more than 60,000 customers, it's easy to see why I always say it's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
Just because I'm not $1 million price doesn't mean I'm worthless. We middle prices get zero respect. We're worth hundreds, even thousands. I mean, I'm a handsome bag of money. And there's $110 million worth of us in the Ohio Lottery Cash Celebration scratch-off alone. Plus, the odds of winning are off the chart. 1 in 3.
Play the $30 cash celebration for a chance to win up to $1 million.
You see?
Oh, and lots of prizes between $100 and $1,000.
Everybody wants $1 million. Would $500 be so bad? Come on.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
All right, time to check out a Howcome Quickie for the night. How come Jimmy Haslam gave Andrew Barry credit for drafting Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield, but no blame for the 1-31 two seasons that he had? Can't have it both ways, can you?
What do they say? Victory has many fathers, it's defeat as an orphan.
216-575-0403 is the number. Hoynes is here, Paul Hoynes of the Plain Dealer and cleveland.com. The Indians have made success and not success in recent years since Francona has been here in signing these non-top level free agents. They go lower, although Encarnacion was a top level one. Okay, let's check out how they've done on middle level free agents over the last few years. Here's the biggest success of all, wouldn't you say? Mike-Napoli. Napoli, 239, 34 home runs that year, 2016, the pennant-winning year. 101 RBIs. He did have 194 strikeouts, which fits the new norm. He had, and then you had Yonder-Alonso. They tried a couple of years ago. Yonder hit 250 for the Indians, 23 homers, 83 RBIs. Career high in strikeouts, though, 123. That seems to be a theme here. Then you have Hanley-Ramirez. Hanley-Ramirez hit 184 in last year. They gave it a try, a couple of homers, 8 RBIs, 17 strikeouts in 16 games. They gave up early on him.
Yeah, I mean, Hanley's trying to come back. After he got cut by the Indians, he had shoulder surgery and is trying to make it back. At least that's the last time I heard about it. And but I haven't seen him signed with anybody.
Here's the best nickname with when you combine the actual names: Carlos-Gonzalez or Cargo. Unfortunately, he couldn't play anymore. 2 homers, 7 RBIs, and 33 strikeouts. And
I think somebody just signed him to a minor league deal. He's going to give it another shot.
Do you find that's unbelievable when you hear things like that?
Yeah, guys, you know, what do they tell you? Keep playing until they tear the uniform off you, and some of those guys do, and some of them don't.
Or if you're a left-handed reliever, keep going for another 10 years.
That's exactly right. Scotty Bales could still come back and pitch, probably.
Well, he probably didn't break the 79-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's right.
All right, Franmil Reyes, the Indians got him in a trade as part of a trade last year, and he had huge home run numbers last year when he got to the Tribe. Let's take a look at it and see what we've got. This is with the Padres before he came here. 99 games, 255 batting average, 27 homers and 46 RBIs. 93 strikeouts and 93 strikeouts in 99 games. So they make it too easy to figure it out mathematically. All right, let's see what he did with the Indians. He comes to the Tribe in August, 51 games, 237 batting average, 10 homers. So he had 37 homers on the year, 35 RBIs with the Indians, and another 63 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's a legitimate 40-homer guy.
If you're an outfielder or if you're a DH and you strike out that many times, you don't have to know where the field is. If they say go to right field, which one is that, Coach?
That's right.
Skip.
They don't have a glove either.
You don't have a glove either. So how important is he? He's the
I
middle
think
of the lineup guy. He's probably we'll have our lineups that we project. I've got him fourth. I think you do too.
I think he's very important. Talking to Francona at Tribe Fest, he said he's kind of the key to determine what they want to do with the outfield. They're going to give him a shot in left and right field. And he said he's going to play him there most of the time in spring training. He's not going to DH that much.
Yeah.
He's just going to find out one way or the other. And if he can play, that kind of maybe that would settle one of the positions, like with Puig last year. You know, because they really. I mean, well, I guess I should backtrack because he said Mercado. Oscar Mercado is going to probably be out there every day in the outfield.
Okay.
But
rotating.
Yeah, rotating. But the other two positions, that's what he wants to find out where Reyes can play. And if he can't play, he'll DH.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about him. You said if he's a DH, if he's not in right field. And I know the MLB Players Association, they didn't want the DH to be universal because they thought it might take away the higher paying jobs, right?
Yeah, I guess, the NL, what? Yeah, I can't. This was back in '73 when they brought it in.
And when they've brought it up to change it and do it in both leagues. But but the problem is it costs them a job. If Reyes, for example, can only hit and can't be a DH, that takes away the opportunity for a guy to have a job.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, I think the DH serves its purpose, and I would not. I know there's kind of, I don't know if the National League would ever do it, but I think there's a movement on that would bring to make it in both leagues.
It was an experiment that started in 1973.
Yeah, and it takes baseball a while to get
a little slow on the uptake there. No, yeah. Now I'm looking at the lineups that you and I did for our discussion purposes. And I don't know why, but I think I feel better about the lineup than I did maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you go over those top 5 guys. Those are good hitters.
Assuming Ramirez is going to give you a full season.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If you can hit him, I mean, those are 5 pretty good, 5 solid hitters. They've got Hernandez. Now, I don't know what you did with Hernandez. I kind of batted him down in the order. But Cesar Hernandez is another switch hitter, solid. Has been a pretty productive player.
And durable.
Yeah, and durable. And, he's hit leadoff a lot in his career, probably that's where he's hit the most. But I don't know. I'd rather start him down at the bottom of the order.
You got Francisco-Lindor. You don't need another leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We're talking about how you approach spring training and what stories you're looking for. How soon are you going to be fed up with the Francisco-Lindor discussion? Or you just assume it's going to be an everyday thing?
I think it's going to be there every day. I think it'll be. I think they tried to quiet it down when Antonetti said, in my opinion, he's probably going to be our opening day shortstop. But then, he comes out, he's going to get asked these questions every time.
Every time a new team comes in.
Yeah, and at Tribe Fest, he kind of said, he said he loves Cleveland, but he wants to get paid for a long time.
It was touch 'em all time for him.
Yeah, he was all over the place.
How about the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards dinner when Paul Dolan tried to make a self-deprecating joke and it didn't come off well? Did he regret that? Talking about he's looking forward to watching him play?
Yeah, I don't know. I know what he was trying to do, but he kind of, you needed a rim shot on that one.
You got it. All right. You can explore your interests, find a program that fits your needs, put you on a path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 150 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information. We're halfway to a Paul Hoynes rant. You got one, don't you? If not, get busy.
Okay.
All right. I feel a good one coming on. Let's take a break. We'll come on back. We'll also take a look at our projected opening day lineups. Frosty the Snowman probably will be in it based on the March 26th start.
Kidding.
Back in a moment, more Sports and Les-levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. This day in history, February 6th, 1970, the NBA expands to 18 teams with the additions of Portland, Buffalo, and Cleveland. Cavaliers will lose their first 15, then win a game, and then lose their next 12. They start out at 1-27.
Is that when Fitch tried to get in the arena?
Yeah.
And the guy wouldn't let him in?
Pass? Yes.
He goes, who else would admit to that after the coach in this team?
I mean, it's in Terry Pluto's book, his new book on the Cavs, and it said Fitch walks in with Joe Tate and Jimmy Rogers, the assistant coach, and the security guard says, you got to have your pass, and the two guys had him, but Fitch didn't, and the guy was going to send him back to this hotel room to get it, and Fitch says, do you know what our team's record is? He says, yeah, 1 and whatever. He says, who would admit to that? And then Fitch becomes a Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame coach.
God, he coached forever, didn't he?
He did. He coached with Boston and with Houston. He did a terrific job, no question about that. All right, let's take a look at Hoynes' projected lineup for the opening day season here. You got to explain some of your thinking here. I think you and I are the same, the first 1 through 6.
Yeah, I kind of like, I know a lot of people have said, why don't you move Lindor down in the order, 3rd or maybe 5th, even cleanup. I still like him at the top of the order. I like the way he starts the game off. He hits a lot of leadoff home runs, and I agree with what Francona said that you get if guys on the bottom of the lineup get on base, you've got a guy that can hit the ball out of the park coming up, at the top of the lineup. So I went switch. Francisco is Lindor's a switch hitter. Mercado's right. Carlos switch. Reyes is right. Ramirez is switch. Then I got Jordan and Luplo and
lefty-righty.
Yeah, lefty-righty, so they can platoon. Then you got a right-hander in Perez, a switch hitter in Hernandez, and DeShields in as a right-handed hitter. So it's a balanced lineup, and that really. The Indians used to have such a heavy left-handed dominated lineup. This is a much more balanced.
All right, mine's just a little bit different because I'm going by Paul Hoynes' report that they're going to have a new outfielder, and I'm sticking him in the opening day lineup and see what happens in the outfield. Again, the first 6 seem to be the same: Lindor, Mercado, Santana, Reyes, Ramirez, and here you go, Domingo-Santana. I can't be fined if they don't actually get that trade to go through, can I?
No.
I got Luplo and Bowers as lefty-righty theory, Hernandez batting 8th, and then Roberto Perez. Perez had a sensational year last year.
He really did. He had a great year. Defensively, he won every award but the Platinum Glove Award, and it went to Chapman, I think, the Oakland's third baseman. And if you look at the defensive WAR, Perez was rated far ahead of Chapman, so it was an interesting decision. But he won the Gold Glove, the Fielding Bible, all the Rawlings. The Rawlings Award. So he did a great job.
I didn't ask you. Maybe we'll save it for next week, or we can do it now and next week. What do you think win-wise? They had 93 last year. Give me a range?
Yeah, I think it's 88 to 90. I think they're right in there.
Not good enough to get the wild card?
It might be. I don't know if they're good enough to catch the Twins. But they had a winning record against the Twins last year. They had a losing record against the White Sox. Yeah. So, I think they're like you said before. I think it's a 3-team race, and I think probably 92 to 93 wins the division.
All right, explain this. You talked to Antonetti, you talked to Dolan. It may or may not be the last year here hopefully the full season with Lindor. Why wouldn't you take the approach of, all right, you got Lindor one more year, let's, instead of trying guys out at certain positions, why not load up on one other guy to help him in the lineup?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think this is the Indians' way of rebuilding. They don't take it down to the floorboards.
Right.
They cut payroll. They kind of pull in their horns for a little bit, cut payroll, still try to be competitive, and then save their revenue sharing money. I don't think they're going to. I mean, if you're still winning 90 games, you're not going to get a high pick. It's
Right.
not like they're going to cash in on the draft picks. But I think maybe you save some money, and a year or two from now, after you've made the decision with Lindor, you go for it again.
Or how about at the trading deadline, even if you don't make a trade, you could still spend some money on somebody.
Yeah, I think they've done that. I think if this team is in contention, I think they'll do that at the deadline because, like you said, they've done it the last 3 or 4 years.
Northeast Factory Direct. Alex has been in the business 20 years. He started it with one piece of furniture in a small garage in Lakewood, Ohio. Look what he's turned into. One of the great companies in Northeast Ohio, saving people, homeowners and apartment dwellers, saving lots of money. They do that because they don't have much rent to pay. They don't have the big expenses that the big box stores have. They just have plenty of room for furniture, and they pass the savings on to you. You're going to pay 50, 60, 70% off of what you purchase at Northeast Factory Direct. Before you go anywhere, go to northeastfactorydirect.com. Sokolowski's University Inn. Haven't been there, Hoynesy, since about 1 o'clock today. Then I waddled over back to the studio after that. 5 minutes out of downtown. The Abbey Avenue exit is where you're going to find it. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn, the winner of the James Beard Foundation Award some 4 years ago. What an honor that is. Only 5 in the country get it each and every year. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn, the only Cleveland restaurant to ever make the James Beard Foundation Award. That's tremendous. We'll take a break. We'll come on back. Paul Hoynes with us. We're about 10 minutes away from a Hoynesy rant. I can't wait. In fact, I think I'm going to get home, and put the computer on and listen to it.
No, you don't want to do that.
I'll wait here. I'll wait here. Back in a moment. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your basement flooring again. Your concrete is uneven, damp, and not healthy. Carpet and tile don't last, breed mold and mildew, and give worthless warranties. Nature Stone permanently corrects uneven concrete and is not affected by dampness or moisture. And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, there are no hidden maintenance costs. Act now and save up to 50% with our volume discount pricing. Must be installed by the end of February. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions, or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Hoynesy, some of the this date in Les-Levine histories are loosely based on truth. This is absolutely true. February 6, 1989, Les sees a license plate, deja vu. He rolls down the window and he says, "I have the feeling I've seen that plate before." The female driver looked at him like he was from Mars. Don't you think if you have a plate like that, you should be in on the joke, right?
You should expect something like that. Yogi Berra should have been driving that car.
Absolutely. Little tease here. This is one of the best batches of Howcome quickies we've had in a long time. Although a couple are starting to get real close to the line that I got to watch out for. I'll let you take a look at one and you make the call. You get in trouble if it doesn't work out right. Facebook question of the day: of the remaining free agents, who would you like to see the Indians sign? Let's check out what we got from Facebook. Michael Galandiak says Puig. Dan Macy says bring back Puig before Boston gets him. Andy Mees says re-sign Puig. He's under 30 years old and he's still in his prime, but it would not only give the Tribe a legitimate cleanup hitter, it would also take the burden off young players such as Reyes, Luplow, and others to provide Santana, Carlos-Santana protection. I say try to make a serious run at the World Series title while Lindor is still with the team. Larry Pantages says nobody. I'd rather give those at-bats to Bobby Bradley, Daniel Johnson, and or Nolan Jones. Even if they're not ready, then bring in the latest version of Marty Cordova, Kareem Garcia, or Mark Reynolds. I totally forgot the name Mark Reynolds. I would have not won a Jeopardy quiz on that one. What do you think of that? The getting somebody from the new version of veteran guys middle of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
If they don't sign any free agent now.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll do that. If they're in contention, it depends what the record is, but I think they definitely bring a guy. They try to improve the team and give him a shot in the arm like they've done in the last 3 or 4 years.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We'll take a break. We'll finish up when we get back. We'll finish up the Howcome quickies, and then you start ranting away.
Okay,
is that all right?
That's fine.
You can call us anytime, 23 hours a day. You could do it, I suppose, when we're on the air from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. But if not, any other time of the day, the voicemail of Truth and Reason line is open, 216-200-6650. Call anytime, leave us a message, and we'll use them on a future show if you can't get in and when you're watching us live from 6 until 7. We'll take a break. We'll come on back. Paul Hoynes has a rant coming up. We've got some Howcome quickies. You're laughing. You feel a good one coming on.
I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
A little nervous. That's the best kind. Back in a moment exclusively on cleveland.com.
Get Nature's Stone and never replace your garage flooring again. Your concrete is cracked, uneven, and not safe. Paints and poly coatings don't last, are slippery, and give worthless warranties. Nature's Stone permanently corrects cracked, uneven concrete, eliminates slipping hazards, and is easy to clean. And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, there are no hidden maintenance costs. Act now and save up to 50% with our volume discount pricing. Must be installed by the end of February. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature's Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine with new content posted each and every day. Wednesday, I told you, people are starting to come close to the line. Just read this. Don't read it out loud. Just take a look at it and tell me if it was more sports and Paul Hoynes, would you use it?
I think I might use that, Les. I like
Lose
that.
it.
Use it.
You want me to use it?
Yeah. It's your show.
I'll keep it over here if I run out of time.
Okay.
I could actually show this to Mike Bacon in the back. Hey, Mike, can I use this? You can zero in on it. All right, let's do some quickies, and then we'll get ready for a Hoynesy rant, which is
Am I grading these?
You are grading these.
Okay.
You know what? Why don't you take a couple of sheets of paper down here
Okay.
that are down here, right down here, and if you want, we had a black.
I got a pen here.
Do it. Okay. All right. Larry Morgan says this is a question for Hoynesy before we get into the quickies. He says, my question is for Hoynesy. Has he, meaning you, ever envisioned the day when Chris Antonetti will grow so frustrated with the Dolan's financial austerity that he quits and moves on to another organization?
You know, he's had chances to move on.
St. Louis was one.
Yeah, St. Louis. Most of the, Chernoff has had chances. I think the thing that any front office guy knows that comes to Cleveland and is going to have a high, a big time front office job under the Dolans is this is the way it is. They're going to stay out of your way. They're going to let you run the baseball operations, but financially you're going to be limited.
And there's a long list of guys who've moved from this organization from what they learned here and have been successful elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean they're all
That's
over
going on
them.
since the John Hart days.
Yeah, it really is. So I don't know. Maybe he would get frustrated, but he knew what he was getting into, right. and he still understands it.
All right, Hoynes, what in baseball, is there an award that goes to, it's not comeback player of the year, but somebody who starts out slow and then winds up at the All-Star break, just goes crazy and has a great year? Can't think of it. Well, here, Toledo Mike would win that award.
Okay.
Because he started out slow, but he's really picked up his game. How come when I told my doctor I couldn't afford an operation, he offered to touch up my x-rays?
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
I'm giving that a 7.
Toledo Mike, what is it?
7?
7.0. This is Mike from Stowe. How come Ted Eulander wasn't a Seattle pilot? Remember Eulander played for McAllen, Texas, played for the Indians? I think he passed away recently.
Here. Yeah,
he passed. I think his daughter won an Olympic gold medal.
She was a skeleton, rode the skeleton.
The luge?
No, not the luge. It was I think it's a skeleton. Something, one of those crazy events, and she was great at it, yeah.
Ted Eulander.
He was coaching the Indians.
What do you give him? What do
8.
You give?
I gave him an 8 on
That's
that
an 8.
one.
All right. Stewart now comes in with this one. How come the Browns continue to tolerate bad behavior? Do they believe without Kareem they won't be in the hunt? Let's touch them all the time.
Yeah, I'm giving that a 10.
No, you can't give him a 10.
Oh, you can't give him a 10?
Yeah, it's a behind the curtain thing here.
Okay.
You can't give them a 10 because they may just tip their cap and walk away and never contribute again.
8.5.
8.5. We want them to think there's a chance they're going to get a 10. But
Keep
you
that
and
carrot
I know.
out there.
What else do we have here? Big Ed. He's now apologizing for not contributing lately. Les, I didn't run out of quickies. I've just been busy. How come money talks, but all mine ever says is goodbye?
That's pretty good.
That's good. What do you want to give it?
I'm giving it a 5.8.
5.8. How come when the teacher asked Johnny if I have 5 bottles in one hand and 4 in the other, what do I have? He said, a drinking problem. It's better than an 8.
Yeah, that's like 9.
Yeah.
That's a 9.
Mr. Gullible now has his pastor writing quickies into us. Isn't that what that says? Mr. Gullible's pastor?
Yeah.
It's from Phil, Mr. Gullible's pastor. How come when the Cavs are doing bad, even their coach made a beeline for the exits before the game was over?
Not bad.
John Beeline.
Not bad.
You think he'll be making an exit toward the beeline at the end of this season?
I don't know.
I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, I'm giving it 8.5. I think they had to know what they were getting into when they hired him.
Yeah. Now Mr. Gullible comes in. He says, how come Tim Salmon's journey to the majors was an upstream battle?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a 9.0 for
9.0 for Mr. Gullible.
Creativity.
How come Steve Stone was nothing before Dwayne Kuiper? Stone gave up Kuiper's only home run. And I'll tell you what, those two guys, if you put them together on a broadcast booth, you'd have a pretty good broadcast.
You're not kidding. They're very good.
Kuiper's terrific. All right, finally, John Patrick. How come all my bills are outstanding? At least I'm good at something. I knew a farmer who was outstanding in his field.
9.0. That's a good outstanding.
All right. We're about, we got a couple of minutes. You got anything? Or you got a rant or anything like that?
Yeah, I got a rant.
Take all the time you want. We can go over. We can do this till 9:30. All right, the moment all of us, especially me, have been waiting for. With a rant. Here's Paul Hoynes.
Les, it's... Okay.
Time out.
Les, it has been a crazy winter in baseball. Look at Scott Boras, super agent. All his clients combined have signed for over $1 billion in contracts. That's billion with a B. Then you got Houston. The Astros get caught, stealing signs, so they're forever branded with the Scarlet Sea. Then you look at the managerial picture. 10 managers. We've got 10 new managers, 30% turnover, and they still haven't hired a guy in Boston. And then and then there's the free agent explosion. Strasburg and Garrett Cole and Anthony Rendon and Dallas Keuchel, and all these guys send huge contracts, but the over 30 gap, like over 30 group, like Jason Kipnis, Melky Cabrera, they're getting squeezed out of the game. Nobody's they're not getting work. Then somebody came up to me on the street the other day and asked me, Hoynesy, why don't the Indians trade Francona back to Boston? They need a manager. He managed there. And I'm sitting there thinking, what if Francona doesn't want to go? He fired him there. So, and then we've got the invasion of robo umpires. I mean, they're not hitting us right now, but it's coming. It's coming right down there. You can see it just over the horizon. I was talking to Adam Plutko about this, and the robo umpires and the three-dimensional strike zone, the electronic strike zone, and he said, yeah, but what if somebody hacks the strike zone? When the pitch is going over the strike zone, and what if they can change that slightly? I'm saying, what is going on in baseball? It's just gone crazy. And then we get to the crux of the matter. Everyone always thought it could only happen in Cleveland. It could only happen in Cleveland. How many great players have the Indians sent packing through trades or free agency because they couldn't afford them? Because they just couldn't afford them. I mean, Michael Brantley, Cody Allen, Albert Bell, Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, the list goes on and on and on. And we always thought, hey, it's because the owner's cheap and they don't draw anybody. Okay, so maybe that's maybe you got some facts there. But look what's happening in Boston. Boston just did the same thing. Maybe if this trade goes through, they traded their best player, mookie-betts. They traded David Price, who has 3 years left, and $96 million on his contract. They traded him to Los Angeles, to Dodgers. And the reason they did that? To dump payroll, to get under the luxury tax. Now, the Indians don't have to worry about getting under the luxury tax. They've never had to worry about that. The luxury tax in 2020 is going to be $208 million, so they don't got to worry about that. But Boston has a license to print money. What are they doing? They play in Fenway Park. For the last 15 years, Les, they have never drawn less than 2.8 million fans. This last year they had a $236 million contract. And they're crying poor? What's going on here? I could see it with the Indians, but Boston, and now mookie-betts is I mean, and the thing with mookie-betts is he's making $27 million this year. And he could be a free agent next year at the end of the season. And so now you've got Francisco-Lindor. So have the Red Sox blazed a trail? Have they blazed a trail that the Indians will follow if and when they trade Lindor or let him walk or whatever? And here's the thing. Betts is if the trade with the Dodgers goes through, Betts could be with the Dodgers for 1 year. Or he could sign an extension. Lindor has 2 years left. So he could end up, there's a lot of talk with Lindor and the Indians and the Dodgers with Lindor. He could end up with the Dodgers at midseason if the Indians go into tank, or sometime this winter. Now, they could both end up on the same team. Mookie-betts could be playing right field. Lindor could be playing, shortstop for the Dodgers, and Boston's going to be crying poor. What kind of world is this? I don't get it, Les.
Do you think the Betts could play the 1 year in Los Angeles and then go back to the Red Sox? Because they will save so much money? Yeah. Just one quick question on Lindor. Has any of the things that have happened in the offseason with other teams affected his dollars or his thinking or the Indians' thinking? Because I don't know that there's that many available teams to sign him.
Yeah. I think definitely Rendon getting that 7-year, $245 million contract from the Angels. I mean, we talked to him about it, and he's shooting way past that. He told the writers when we were talking to him at TriFest, if you were going to start a team, give me 5 players you'd want to start a team with, and he made sure that he was one of those players.
Of course.
So I mean, if you're looking at that way, Mike Trout, Betts, and Lindor, they got to be in that top 5 of position players. You know, Trout is making $400 million, right? Didn't he sign for some ungodly amount?
I just wonder who's left to have that kind of money to pay.
Yeah, but somebody will pay that kind of money for Lindor.
All right, we're going to tape that rant that you had because you're only here next week. Then the spring training starts, so we'll just play it. We'll pop it on at any
just
time.
Splice it up.
Right. Hoynesy's great. Don't forget Dave Bacon tomorrow. We'll have the weekend winners. We hope to have Brian Anderson on Monday. He had the flu this past week, but hopefully he's okay. Then on Tuesday, Bud Shaw. Wednesday, it'll be Dennis Manoff, the D-man. And Thursday, Hoynesy makes his final appearance for not too long. Hopefully he won't be out. You'll have time out during spring training.
Yeah.
What am I causing doom and gloom here for? We'll see you. I'll see you on Monday of all the shows I've ever done. This was the most recent.